everyone, and welcome back to the Three Stitches podcast. This is episode 161, and it is Monday, September 2nd. It's Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. I am back in Buffalo, and so I am the last one of the Three Stitches to record their single episode. I didn't record last week because we had recorded on Friday, and so I flew in on Saturday, and then Sunday was all unpacking. So 2 days of not knitting is, probably not prudent to record when I wouldn't have anything to show. Today, unfortunately, is not going to be much better, so it is going to be a very short episode. Probably good for you guys, so I don't, as Lindsay says, put you all to sleep, because now that we are back in the semester, we will be recording 3 times a week. One of us will be recording during the week, so total of 3 podcasts. Um, I'm no longer an RA, so as I mentioned back in May, that was my last year as an RA. So I have moved into the apartments, and I have to say I love it. Although it does mean that there might be a little bit more extraneous noise than you guys are used to for this semester, but only this semester because it is my last semester at school. I am done in December if everything goes according to plans. But now that I'm living in the apartments, I have 3 other roommates that have they have rooms of their own as I do, but they're also living in the apartment, so there might be noise and such because unlike Lindsay, who only has one roommate, it's kind of hard to plan where I'm here by myself, so there will be noise. So apologies in advance for that. I also have to apologize for my voice. I'm going to be rude because I have a cup of tea. I woke up this morning and I my luck. I woke up and I have a stuffy nose and I'm a little bit congested, and I'm hoping it's allergies, but I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm getting a cold, which I really hope I'm not because I start student teaching tomorrow. So I have a cup of tea, and Mom, yes, I am drinking it in your mug. So I'm going to be rude and have a cup of tea while I podcast because my throat is a little scratchy right now, and so it's kind of hard to talk. So I apologize for that. Okay, so I did get a lot of knitting done, but I was very monogamous in my projects this week. So, um, as you guys recall, from last time I recorded with all of us together, I was working on an Afghan, and so yeah, I got it done, barely. It was for a friend of mine who just bought her first house, and she was coming up this weekend to visit, so I wanted to get it done so she could take it home with her. Um, and so she arrived on Thursday. She arrived Thursday night, and I did not have it done on Thursday night. So I was doing a mom basically at Christmas time, and I'd get up early in the morning and knit on it while she was still sleeping, or I would stay up late and knit on it while she was going to sleep, or I'd like stash it in the closet, excuse me, in the closet real quick, um, so that she wouldn't see. And so I finally finished it on Friday, and so I don't have it with me. I already gave it to her, so here's a picture of it. And it's all done. It turned out wider than I thought, so yeah. Um, Measurements were a little off there, but that goes with modifying a pattern, I guess. And it didn't turn out as long as I wanted. It turned out long enough, but it turned out more of a square than a rectangle. Yeah, but oh well. She really likes it. And Mom can attest to this, and Mom will probably know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as I start. There was a little bit of a problem with the last skein of yarn. If you will recall, I did it in Red Heart Super Saver yarn in the burgundy colorway. All the same dye lot, all I mean, I did purchase them at 2 different times, so that's probably where the problem arose. But got done, cast it off. It was midnight. So on Thursday, well, and then technically Friday morning, 'cause it was midnight, cast it off, laid it out, took a photo of it. I was, uh, folded it up to go to put it in the bag, and I noticed that the colors were different. I was like, okay, it's just it's midnight. I'm under fluorescent lighting. It's just the shadows, and so I'm moving it. I'm like, no, it's not changing. Oh boy. And so yeah, the last skein I used uh turned out to be a slightly different shade than all the other skeins. And I already knew that this was potentially going to happen because when I purchased the second batch of skeins, um, we were going to check out, and Mom goes, "Some of these skeins look different. They look smaller and they're different shade." I'm like, you know what? You're right. And so I run back to the aisle real quick, and I look like a complete idiot because I pull out all the skeins of this colorway, lay them on the floor, and I'm like organizing them by size and by like which colors look the same. And so I finally pick four of what I think are the best, you know, the closest matching. And then, but one of them was a little different. I was like, well, it's gonna have to do. And so I get home and I compare them, and I think it, and I thought it was okay. I thought they all looked the same. And so this is where my problem comes in. So I finished it, and the fluorescent lighting, you can clearly see the changes in color. So here's a picture that I took in the fluorescent lighting when it was all folded up, and you can clearly see the line of where I changed skeins. But then I woke up the next morning and I gave it to Catherine, and she and and I told her about the whole fiasco, and how I finished it, and then and how I saw the clear line of where the colors changed. And she was like, "Really? I don't notice it." And I pull it out. I'm like, sure enough, you don't like in. I don't see it either. And I'm like, and so I'm examining it, and I then after like 5 minutes, I see it. So in daylight and in regular lighting, it's much harder to see, which is good because that's when people are going to see it most. But it's under fluorescent lighting, you can clearly see where the yarn changes. But she liked it, and so while there is a mistake, it's sort of it's handmade and it's not made by machine, so there's a little bit of mistake in it. But she likes it and she's happy with it, so that's all that matters. I am still debating about going back and forth whether to call Red Heart and let them know about the changes, but I don't know. It was my fault for buying the yarn in two different batches, so I think I'll let it be. But because that took up basically all of last week, and then once Catherine got here, it was sort of veg out and hang out and watch movies, which we ditched the movies and ended up watching the U.S. Open, and snack on sweets. that we bought ice cream, we bought popcorn, we bought Fleming hot Cheetos. It was a very interesting lunch that day. We started out by making French toast, and then we had um, frozen candy bars. That they have the they make now that they're candy bars, but they're ice cream. So Snickers is out new. It's like vanilla ice cream. So she had the Snickers, and I had caramel Milky Way. Delicious. So bad for you, but so good. So we had French toast, and then we had frozen candy bars, and then we had I had flaming hot Cheetos, and she had regular Cheetos, and then we had little pints of ice cream. So I had cherry chocolate, and I forgot what she had, but also all over it was a very very unhealthy afternoon. But we sat and chatted and watched the U.S. Open, so it was a lot of fun. So didn't get a lot of knitting done then. A, you know, just it was catch up time. B, I got the Afghan done. It was like, now what do I do with my life? I've been doing this, I would like get up, get dressed, pull out my Afghan, knit in my Afghan until, it was time to go to bed. And the only breaks were meal times or when I had to go out and do something. And I've been doing that for 6 days straight. So I was like, what do I do with myself? You may be asking, well, yeah, you could down that shawl you um you've been working on about that. That may be going into that's going into hibernation right now. Yeah, because well, it's going into hibernation. It may be coming out. We'll see what the outcome is. Because I've lost the second skein of yarn for it because I had two skeins of sock white yarn for it, if you will recall. And so I was packing up to come back to school, and I go to pack up shawl and I pack it up and I put it in the suitcase and I'm going through everything. I'm like, where's the other skein of yarn? This is weird because all the stuff that was in El Paso is now they're in sealed boxes. Nothing has come in, nothing has gone out or come out. So it can't be in there. And what's not in those boxes is a limited amount of stuff. I was planning on taking everything that was not in those boxes back to school with me. Turns out I couldn't. I just did not have enough room. Um, but so basically, when I left school or when I left home, there was nothing in the room. I don't know where this skein of yarn went. And so I left the shawl home, trying to tempt Murphy's Law and thinking, if I leave the shawl at home, I'll have somehow packed this skein of yarn and I'll unzip my suitcase going, oh bugger, I had this skein of yarn, but I left the shawl at home. No luck. I don't have the shawl, I don't have the ball of yarn. If I can't find it when I get home, I'm fresh out of luck and the shawl is coming out. So the Growing Leaves shawl is on a permanent hiatus for this semester, unfortunately, because I was really liking it. And I'm still I can't wrap my head around how I can lose a whole skein of yarn in like Lindsay can attest to, we're both living in this room. There's not much closet space. You know, there's only a certain amount of places that I kept my stuff. And I looked through everything, which took a total of like 10 minutes because it's either like on the changing table in a box next to the changing table that we were using as our dresser or in the closet. And it was in none of those places. It couldn't go under the bed because the trundle was underneath the bed. And so we're just like we're both we're both completely baffled about where this skein of yarn went. So yeah. So hopefully it's just a simple overlook and I will find it when I get home in Christmas time, or at Christmas time, but if not, this shawl's getting taken out and I'll find something that I can do with one skein of sock white yarn. Hey. So because I was sort of stuck for projects, um, I've been doing little like puttering stuff. So I basically, when I took my stuff out of storage, I took the bin that had all my yarn and all my knitting supplies in it and just put it in my closet. I was like, you know what, I'll do this later. I have other stuff to unpack. I know this is all just yarn and knitting supplies, so in the closet it goes. That's what all these boxes are, everything that my stuff was in. Hopefully next week you will not see them because they will be in another storage place because it's kind of weird to have boxes in front of your window because A, it's against fire code, B, it drastically reduces my view. Yeah. And while that's not that important, it's kind of nice to be able to look out the window. Yeah. So these boxes will be gone, but my knitting bin will stay in my closet because yarn is precious. Excuse me. But where was I going with that? Yeah, okay, so after I finished the Afghan, I was like, you know what? I don't quite remember what yarn I put into storage. So I opened up the bin, took all the yarn out because it was, for storing purposes, it was wherever yarn fit. How could I get the most stuff into this bin? But for this semester, for organizational purposes, I'd like it organized. Here's lace weight, here's worsted, here's all the frilly scarf yarn I have, which I realize I have a lot. Yeah. So scarves this semester. Yeah, good thing they're quick projects. And I have a lot of sock yarn. So socks this semester, but socks will make good bus projects, so good. Um, so I organized my craft bin and I was like, all right, now what? Um, hmm. Well, I will pull out one of the balls of frilly scarf yarn. So I have this done. A whopping total of 4 rows. That took me like 5 minutes before I went to a picnic this afternoon. Yeah. Woo. So it is, oh bugger, I lost the wrapper and it's all the way over there. I will be right back. Okay, it is Premier Yarns Starbella, 33 yards, a grand total of 3.5 ounces. Just enough for a scarf. And I thought, no, it's just Premier Yarns. I thought, Premier Yarns was owned by a different company. Nope, it's Premier Yarns. And it is in, can I find the colorway? Cinnamon Candy colorway. That makes sense. It's very red and vibrant. And this is the last ball I have of this sort of netting yarn for scarves. The other yarns are different, so you'll see those soon. But I also, before I left for summer and I packed this up into storage, I had a washcloth on the needles. I had half a washcloth on the needles. So I picked this back up and um, I'm going to finish the washcloth to add to our ever-growing collection of washcloths that Lindsay and I made over the summer. Yay, one more washcloth. That might end up being given away because I do not need any more washcloths. I have enough washcloths that I could use one a day and not run out for a week. Yeah. Excuse me. All right. And unfortunately, as sad as that is, that's it. That is, I mean, if you count the Afghan, I did quite a bit of knitting this week, but in terms of projects, not so much to show. Um, I think we're gonna be picking up Even Star soon, but we're definitely going to be starting Level Up Socks. And so so that was also another reason for going into my bin. I found the yarn for Level Up Socks and I took it out so I could start those. Um, so that will be started. Depending on how complicated those socks are, I might be casting on a plain sock for bus rides because tomorrow I start my first placement for student teaching. So yay! Someone asked me today if I was excited, nervous, or scared. I'm like, all of the above, but mostly excited. I went to go meet with my supervising teacher on Thursday. I'm losing track of days. This is what happens when I have a week off and it all blends together because all I do is get up, knit, eat lunch, knit, eat dinner, knit, go to bed, and repeat. So, yes, Thursday. I walked down there. Side note to that, I am buying a bus pass because it's not that bad of a walk, but it took me about half an hour to get there, and I can do it. I just got a little sweaty doing that, and so it's probably not the most professional to get to a school to teach children when I'm sweating a lot, because probably not. So I bought my bus pass. Probably won't be here till Wednesday, so I'll have to make do until then, but one day is not gonna make that much difference. So yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait. Um, the first 2 weeks of our observations, hopefully I get to engage in the classroom a little bit because 2 weeks of just observation is going to get a little dry. Yeah, as much as I like children and I like being in a classroom, sitting in a classroom for 7 hours, just watching the students, yeah, I might need a lot of caffeine. So I will ask if I can be more engaged before my 2 days of observation is up. Hmm. Okay. I think that's everything. Um, I better sign off because I just remembered I was going to make spaghetti sauce today so I could freeze it, and I did not, and it's 6:30 at night. Yeah, so I should probably go do that real quick because I have to go to bed and be up bright and early tomorrow. Yep. Okay, so um, with that, I will sign off and leave you be. Um, I have to get back in the groove. I can't quite remember whose podcasting went. I believe you will see Mom on Wednesday and Lindsay on Friday. If not, other way around. Um, I will see you. I will record on Sundays. I wanted to get, even though it was minimal amount of knitting done, I wanted to get a little bit more done, so I postponed recording until today. Um, but from now on, recording will be on Sundays. Um, I think that's everything. So we'll do our usual. You can find us on Plurk. I'm KJO36 on Plurk. Darius Traveler 42 on Ravelry. And brand new, we mentioned last week, but in case you missed it, you can like us on Facebook, the Three Stitches Podcast Facebook page. Um, like, comment, give us suggestions, just say hi, pop over, say hi. You can do that on our blog as well, the Three Stitches blog, and we're on iTunes. You can watch on that. Um, Leave us feedback, ratings, comments, and I think that's everything. Okay, not bad for first solo podcast in 3 months, but as Lindsay said, takes a little bit to get back in the groove. Um, yeah. Okay. With that, I will sign off. Wish you all happy knitting, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.